Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to look at the initiatives in the services sector. In the previous video we have seen about various problems which are associated with service sector. In this we are going to look at how government is focusing on increasing the relevance of service sector and giving a boost to the service sector. So let's start. So before starting with the service sector, you should know that service sector includes services, trade, hotel, transport, etc. So we have to look at the growth and the policies in all such associated sector. The first is the medical tourism sector. India is among the top countries in the world with respect to medical tourism because a lot of patients from developed countries like USA, UK, Bangladesh, which is a developing country, of course, etc., comes to India for treatment because India provides low cost and good quality treatment, and that's why India is a most attractive nation in case of medical tourism. Recently, the government has approved setting up of 4 medical device parks so as to provide world-class treatment at affordable price. The aim is to reduce the cost of the treatment which is provided and to ensure that the domestic supplies are not affected. These parks will be set up in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Kerala in all the 4 southern states. And presently, India is largely an importer of medical devices, and the recent reform, which is setting up of medical parks, the drugs park, etc., aim to push domestic capabilities. These parks, when they will be operational, will lead to massive reduction or massive fall in the cost of the drugs, medical devices, and will reduce the India's dependence on foreign nation for its medical supplies. These parks will provide necessary infrastructure where companies can easily plug and play. It implies that all the required facilities will be there. Only the thing company has to do, they have to register, they have to set up their plant and then to start producing their output. This initiative will lead to fall in medical imports and thus a lot of foreign exchange will be saved. These will also lead to massive cut in the import bills and will help in easy accessibility or expansion in the standard testing facilities in the country, and will lead to reduction in the cost of production, and ultimately it will lead to fall in prices because you have to remember that most of the drugs which are produced or any medical device which is produced in India is sent abroad for testing facilities. But when such parks will be set up in India, when capacity will be expanded, the standard testing facilities will also be set up in India. Now this will lead to fall in or reduction in the cost of production, and also will get the updates and the results timely, and will ultimately lead to fall in the prices. Then you have to remember that through this government is giving a push to the indigenous manufacturers, and recently we have seen that during the COVID-19 government procured ventilators around 50 to 60,000 crore from the indigenous manufacturers, and that's why government is focusing more on building medical devices within the country. Second will be National Skill Development Mission. Under the National Skill Development Mission, the aim of the government is skilling and reskilling. So 2 things are there. One is recognition of prior learning and skilling the person who is unskilled. The National Skill Development Mission aims to create convergence across sectors in terms of skill training activities. The Skill India portal was launched, which provided information on the skilling data of government ministries, state government ministries, private training providers, etc. And recently, around 1 year back, 2 schemes were launched, which were Sankalp and Strive. Both of these schemes aim at improving the skill development, and these schemes received funding from the World Bank. And both of them are different because Sankalp is a centrally sponsored scheme. So Sankalp scheme focuses on district level skilling ecosystem through convergence and coordination. So this focuses at district level. It is a centrally sponsored scheme with funding from the World Bank, and the aim of the scheme is to mandate the aims of the National Skill Development Mission. So the aim of the National Skill Development Mission is to create convergence across sectors in terms of skill training activities or improving the skills in India. Now you have to remember that Sankalp is a centrally sponsored scheme and it receives funding from World Bank. Then is Strive. Strive is skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement. Now this scheme aims to improve the performance of ITIs. ITIs are industrial training institutes. These ITIs provides hands-on training. They provide you skills and also the recognition of prior learning thing, which we will cover in the coming few minutes. Now the Strive scheme is also funded by World Bank, but this is a central sector scheme. The objective of the scheme is to improving the relevance and efficiency of skill training, which is provided through industrial training institutes or the ITIs and through apprenticeships. Now you have to remember that Sankalp is a centrally sponsored scheme and Strive is a central sector scheme, and both of them receive funding from World Bank. So then comes Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. It has been in news for a number of times. Now the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has launched this scheme with an aim to provide country's youth with training, which will enable them to achieve meaningful industry relevant skill. So which will equip the youth with the meaningful industry relevant skill, and so that they can get get jobs easily. Training will be provided. Apart from that, it also includes other trainings like soft skill, appropriate work ethics, personal grooming, behavioral change for cleanliness, etc., along with the requirements of industry. So these are the extra trainings which are also provided, and individuals having prior learning experiences, skills will be certified and assessed under the recognition of prior learning component or the particular thing. So what is recognition of prior learning? It is, so under the RPL component, what will happen? So if a person is already having skill but is lacking certificate, then the person will be provided certificate which will indicate that the person is equipped with so and so skill. Thus, individuals having prior learning experiences or skills will be certified, and we know that certification is an essential thing because certificate certifies that you have done something and something. And apart from that, under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, whoever goes to the training is also provided placement assistance. Now, placement assistance is provided through different ways. One is through direct placement. Second is by signing MOUs or Memorandum of Understanding with various companies, and based on that, skills are provided. Then there is national policy on software products. Now, this was introduced in 2019. Now, the aim is to develop India as the global software product hub, which is driven by innovation, improved commercialization, and sustainable intellectual property. You will notice that major focus has been given on intellectual property rights, okay, because India has to comply with the TRIPS agreement of WTO, and there has been cases against India regarding violation of IP. It will align with the initiatives. This particular policy will align with initiative like Make in India, Startup India, or Digital India, or Skill India, etc., and will provide direct and indirect employment to close to 3.5 million people by 2025. This policy has 5 missions, which focuses on creating skilled workforce, focusing on cluster-based development approach, etc. So let us look at all these 5 missions. The first is to promote the creation of sustainable Indian software product industry, which is driven by intellectual property. This will lead to 10-fold increase in India's share in the global software product market by 2025. Thus, the aim is to increase the India's share in the global software product market and to build a sustainable software product industry which is competitive in nature. Second is to nurture 10,000 technology startups throughout the country, which are in the software product industry, whether it is located in tier 2, tier 3 cities, etc. Still, they will be given support, and to generate direct and indirect employment for 3.5 million people by 2025, or you can say that to provide employment to 3.5 million people by 2025, both through direct and indirect way. The third is creating a talent pool for software product industry by upskilling. It implies that those who already have skill are further provided skills so that the skills can be improved. Upskilling of 10 lakh IT professionals, motivating 1 lakh school and college students, and generating 10,000 specialized professionals which can play the leadership role in the IT world. The fourth aim is, or the mission you can see, is focusing on cluster-based innovation-driven ecosystem. What happens in cluster-based is a number of industries can come set up there in particular cluster. Now, when a cluster-based approach is adopted, certain in the initial costs are very low. So government can go for massive infrastructure addition in such cluster areas, and that's why focus is on cluster-based innovation-driven ecosystem by developing 20 sectoral and strategically located software product development clusters which have integrated ICT infrastructure, marketing, incubation, R&D, testing facilities, etc. And the fifth is creating national software product mission to monitor the schemes and programs which aims to boost the software product industry in a country. Thus, these are 5 things which is about the National Software Policy of 2019. Let us look at one practice question. Please read the question carefully. The question is, Sankalp scheme is centrally sponsored scheme, and second option is these schemes aims to foster skill development and to improve the performance of ITIs. So in the second option, we are talking about Sankalp and Strive schemes. Now here both these options are right because Sankalp scheme is a centrally sponsored scheme and the aim of Sankalp scheme is to foster skill development, whereas the aim of Strive is to improve the performance of ITIs.